Jose, did you post something on Slack? Or do you have your Cinema 4D open so that we could take a look? Okay, so let's just make a list here and make a mental note of what's going on so that we don't miss any of what's happening last week. Right? And so we'll look at final portfolios a week from today, 12, 13. That's next Monday, right? 12, 13, 2021 at this time, right? So 2 p.m. No one else has any other finals conflicting with that? Usually it's not a problem. You guys have finals in any other classes?
One other class.
But it's on 14th.
Mine are optional, so.
An optional final?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought both of mine are optional too.
I mean, I'm doing good in them, so I might not need to take them.
What class has an optional final? Casey said incredulously.
So in geology, if you manage, so only 4 out of your 5 exams count, and only 20 out of 23 quizzes count. So if for some reason you're doing fine, despite, if you're passing and you feel like taking the final exam isn't going to make your grade any higher, there's no point. As long as you're in the A range, you're still going to get an A. So going is kind of you can do it for fun, but you're not going to get really much higher of a grade than an A anyway.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's new. Emily says most classes. Then she changed it to some classes. Right? So we have our kitchen. Right, so the one we've been working on, we got our kitchen visualization. Most of you guys are already there with this one, right? This is our one that's at least
It's not showing up on the screen.
oh, jeez. There we go. Jose said he's taking the wrong classes. All right, so we have our kitchen visualization video, and we want this online for the portfolio, so you can use Vimeo. Many of you have already have an account from my previous classes, or if you already have videos online somewhere else, YouTube is fine somewhere. And for the Canvas, also upload MP4, right? So this assignment will, you'll be able to upload stuff to it and put in links. So you can do both. And we want our robot. So all of our robots had some sort of task. So robot doing task in kitchen. We want at least 3 shots of that. Okay, that's if we want it, if we have more, it's great, but 3 seems doable. It's definitely, Redshift has not been quite as fast to render as one would have hoped, but we're doing okay. And then links to models on Sketchfab. And so your robot on Sketchfab, the mixer on Sketchfab, and
There's 3 models, 1 kitchen.
yeah, what I mean,
Right now I have my stove, my sink, and what else did I put in?
as separate things or?
Yeah, it's everything.
Yeah, but did you texture them separately in Substance?
Yes, but if I hadn't, all I would have to do is just export texture set, or well, to not export texture set, to save the all of my materials as a smart material, and then just upload an FBX on its own and apply that smart material to it. Everything should be fine, so long as the UVs are the same. But yeah, no, I did do it separate. Well, I think that's how I did it separately. Like that's what I did.
Okay.
Rather than send it as a separate file.
So let's say at least the table chairs on there. If you have more than that, again, super. Now you want to animate the robot. We're going to talk about animating the robot today. Right, so links to model Sketchfab. So this is a link. 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 And we also want this is on Vimeo or YouTube, and also upload MP4. All right, so Jose posted a couple more stills here in Slack. We need some more of this. Here, let's all look at Emily's real quick. Nice. Looks good, Emily.
Still missing the ceiling mount.
What's missing?
The ceiling mount.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
The cylinder.
Looks like, yeah, something up here for the lights. This is a different color. I feel like this shot was new. I don't remember that from the last time.
Yeah, I think that's not it. I think it was a new one. Yeah, that was the new one. I thought the paintings looked cool.
Yeah, adding the artwork makes it feel like a space. There were no shots where I was like, that felt like unfinished, I thought. So all that looks good. This, I mean, just the only thing that struck me here on the fridge, this still seems a little strong. Just the height or the strength on the bump, so it's more of like a indent, but it looks really good. You're good there. Jose, let me post the chat link so you can just play the Cinema 4D file for us so we can check your cameras and everything. Riley, you got anything new to look at?
Yeah. I post part of my scenes now, but I redid it. The textures.
So those images were generated online, Emily?
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool. That's great. Then you don't have to worry about anyone else saying anything about that. Those were good. That's a good use of machine learning for abstraction. Go ahead and click on the meeting link, Jose, so you can play what you have with your cameras just in the editor, so we can see the tempo and pacing of everything. What am I missing here? That's cool. I'll have to play with that some more later. So Jose, just I put the meeting link in the chat there. Danielle, can you get on? Anyone who's in the chat, Nikki, yours looked good. You posted this one. The only things I thought here, this first shot is still too quick, but you could just slow it down. I feel like there's enough frames here that you could slow it down in After Effects to about 60% of that. That feels a little fast. Hi, Emily. Let me. Jose, do you see the link in the chat? Emily, yours looks good.
Thank you.
And so, what is your robot's job?
So what I wanted my robot to do was to clean dishes. I made a sponge. I still have to like UV unwrap it and do that stuff. I also made it like a cooking knife. Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, so the knife seems like that makes sense. I think you should go with that. I mean, as far as washing a dish would involve like some water and whatnot, which would be, not really within our time restrictions here.
Sorry, I got really confused because I was like listening to stream. And
Yeah. If you're on the chat, if I give you the chat, you gotta turn off the stream because the stream is late.
Okay. Yeah, I got really confused for a second. But yeah, I was thinking maybe instead of like using the sponge to maybe pull out a chair
Okay.
and probably just, I don't know if cutting something would be a good idea because I was thinking like, oh, maybe I could just like have the robot cut some vegetables and have it look like it's really fast and create a, what's it called? Is this sprite the right word? Right word? I forget what they're called. A particle? Why am I forgetting the word?
Of the thing it's chopping?
Mm-hmm. So it looks like it's like coming out really fast.
Oh yeah, particle system. Like to save it's chopping really quickly and stuff just flying.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Can you send me the C4D of your robot?
Oh, okay. I haven't done that part yet, or I've already painted and rigged it. I just haven't really made those like extra parts yet. If my file would open.
Okay, while you're doing that, Jose, can you just show us what's going on with your cameras?
Like, do you want me to put to share the screen and just put my cameras?
Yeah, just hit play on the Cinema 4D file, right? That's the big thing about before you're rendering here, making sure the shots aren't too fast. I mean, we won't be able to see all of the detail, but we'll be able to see what's going on.
Okay.
Danielle, do you have all of your cameras set up?
I do have them set up. I'm currently rendering right now, so I feel like I can't quite pull it up. Unless I might be able to open it as another project while it's rendering in the one that I have open.
Well, you can just, stop the render for a second and then go back to it, because you've got the PNGs, so.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so Jose, this is only 150 frames.
Yeah, well, I have all these. So I was just planning to like take all the videos just
Oh, okay. I see. I see. You didn't make them sequential. You'll just render the. Okay. Okay. I get it.
like
What?
one by one.
Yep. Okay. So play us
Yeah.
play us each shot here. Okay. Good. Good.
Might be happening to those cameras.
What's that?
I was wondering if you can see the little red circles on.
Is each one 150 frames?
I think one of them is like 200. I mean, it just varies depending
Plus
on how
also
it
how
looks.
to check
Like
his
the
layers.
pastel. But yeah, most are 150.
Jose, you know you have all the cameras with the red dot on top. You know, don't show
Yeah, I
in.
know.
Okay.
Making sure.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's because I get confused between all the things that they appear, so I just prefer to hide them.
Okay.
Do you want me to repeat this one or this one is good?
Yeah. So that one's orbiting the mixer.
Yeah.
Okay. And your mixer bowl, you got it to look like glass, right? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, that looks good. I would just brighten up whatever that, the dark color is. I don't know if it needs to be. Like, what material is that down there?
Well, actually, I'm using to put like the right mixer here because I don't know if you remember, but I changed like this part to Chrome.
Oh, right.
Already the mark here. in
Right.
that one, and I forgot to update it now that you mentioned.
Okay, so this will be the new mixer that's chrome there.
Yeah. So what do you want to change also?
Well, then, yeah, because the part that's black is actually kind of red, right? Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I remember now. Yeah.
This one.
Looks good.
This one.
Cool.
So those are the ones that I have right now.
Okay, so how many do you have total?
Like setup 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
No, 6.
Okay, so let's say. Okay, let's say this has to be at least 10 shots. Okay, more is obviously fine, but at least 10. And so you're not going to use the stage. You're just going to render them out and then sequence it in After Effects.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That works good. Yeah, the timing is like choppy over the chat or over the call here, but it seems good. You seem close enough, right? You seem close enough that if you need to slow them down some more in After Effects, you can.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. Do you have any other questions?
I think you only told me to make a window, so I don't know.
Yeah, and it looks like you have something there now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks better.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a hole in the wall, so that's good.
Okay. Yeah, I think that was it of the corrections.
Okay.
I want a wall.
Okay, and then you have your robots all textured and everything. You just have to bring it into the kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay. And what does your robot do?
I don't know.
What?
Vacuum.
Right?
and-
Yeah, I remember it dispensing ice, right?
Yeah. So that's one. Then, but like for example, So I thought that like the vacuum doing something, but how can I like make an actual like action from a vacuum? Like,
Moving
I
back
don't
and forth.
know. Like I don't know how would like to make an animation to say like that that would represent like a vacuum doing how do you say like vacuuming?
You can move it back and forth and add like some audio that would like resemble to vacuum.
Like a sound effect.
Is there a way like for like the thing of the ice instead of going out, going in?
Yeah, I mean, we're just doing 3 shots. So, I mean, what if yours kind of rolled up or floated up and then dispensed some ice into just a bowl? That seems like an achievable thing. Right? So, you know, it sort of enters the kitchen and just shoots some ice into the bowl.
And then
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I don't know what would be the third shot.
Well, that's 3.
Well, I mean, while it's shooting ice into the bowl, you could sort of look at it on one side and look at it the other side.
Oh, I thought you meant like to do 3 actions. Like,
No, we just
up and-
three shots of the same thing here. We'll get Emily's bot going doing something here, and we'll break down an example.
Do you need me
Oh,
to
okay.
email the file
Okay,
or just
yeah.
your-
Bot has not been animated yet, but
Yeah, no, we don't. I don't. I'll do something real quick with it. So, just the
Wait,
C4E
oh.
file.
okay. So you wanted me to email it to you?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Give me 1 second.
Okay, Jose, looks good. So stop sharing so we can see Danielle's.
Okay.
Danielle, are you still there? Can we check out yours?
Yeah, I'm attempting to share now.
Email sent.
Alrighty, are you able to see it?
Yes.
Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay. You know what?
If you click twice, if you click twice and then hold down the mouse, you can drag over all those and turn them red. There you go.
Ooh. Thank you. Alrighty, here we go.
What is it?
Up the window. The window is the range.
Yeah, Kyler said the stove is missing a range. I mean, that would be an easy thing to put in as far as some sort of vent there. But yeah, okay, so those, I mean, they all feel kind of quick. And how many frames do we have here? 1500? 100. I mean, it's tough to tell from the preview here, but yeah, so a lot of them have movement and rotation. It felt like a lot of the shots, we were getting into something and then moving past it, whereas just start on the thing that you want to show. Like I never felt like I got a good look at the table because we're always moving past the table to something else. Whereas you could have just one shot for just the table. That's fine.
Okay. Okay.
So I would cut down the amount of. I think the raw amount of time is probably good, but they should be slower. So I would just go in and adjust the positions so it doesn't move as far during the same amount of time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But during that time, make sure that we're looking at the thing that you want to showcase.
Mm-hmm.
So how much have you rendered so far?
I had started it to just render the first two shots, which are each 129, so it was like about 160 or 260 something frames. But
Yep.
it was, I think, maybe about halfway through.
And how long is it per frame for you?
24 frames per second, or each shot I've been doing. Oh, sorry. Definitely less than 2 minutes per frame.
I mean, so it's like over a minute per frame?
It was taking like a bit long to render each frame.
And what resolution are you rendering at?
1920 by 1080.
Yeah, so go ahead and bump that down to 1280 by 720.
Okay.
That's going to be plenty of resolution for us. Because you want to get that ideally below a minute so that it's, And then are you able to render in long stretches? Do you have Redshift quitting on you or no?
It hadn't crashed so far, and whenever I did the render before, like the preview, I feel like it rendered all the way through, so I haven't been having problems with it crashing so much.
Okay, so do you have a preview render of everything you just showed me?
Let's see. Hmm. Sorry. So that's what I was working on it so far. Yeah, not a whole ton.
Yeah, so that's definitely too long there. And then do we ever get a good shot of the mixer?
I do have one shot. Let's see. Is that animate? Let's pay back. I have this one that kind of cuts into it.
Yeah, I mean, you want one shot that's really just on the mixer.
Okay. Okay, so I took down some notes for it to do some more focus shots. I'm gonna add a range hood, and I'm gonna make sure that I guess it goes into the more focus shots, but I have one of just a mixer to show it and to lower the resolution to 1280 by 720.
Yeah. Yeah, and definitely the cameras cover less ground.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Do a couple of frames here and see how long it's taking at 1280 by 720.
Okay, I will do.
Alright.
I'm gonna stop sharing and work on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
And everybody has it written down. Monday, a week from today at 2 o'clock.
I did start it rendering, and the first frame rendered in about 42 seconds.
Okay, and you have the redshift settings set to low, correct?
Let me double check. I have it on medium, so low would be better.
Yeah, I would switch to here.
Okay, once I switched to low, it was closer to like 21 seconds.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds doable.
Awesome. That's a relief, thank you.
And here's Kyler's kitchen. Did I already say something about that being the name of your cooking show? Okay. My jokes are so good, even I don't remember them. All right.
Do we move back to stream or do we stay on here?
Let's just stay on here. The stream, is getting recorded, so it's there.
Okay.
And what resolution did you end up rendering this at?
640 by 2.
Okay. Right, because didn't we have an exchange about that over the weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
I tried to do the 1280. I didn't think it would be a problem, and then I left it for a while and then did the math on like how long this would take. I went, this is gonna take like 12 hours just to do one shot. It actually took 15.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well,
But at 640, you were able to get the whole.
yeah. I did it like a shot or two at a time and rendered it out. Each one took like 2 hours or so.
Cool. I wasn't counting. How many shots total?
So,
Awesome. Looks good. It looks like we got more light here on the mixer. Nothing stuck out as far as the pacing. Everything feels pretty good as far as that goes. It's still really good. I like that. The textures really speak. The only thing is the table ends up being so dark.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was just questioning.
Yeah. Part of that is the compression.
I still think I could probably break it up a little.
Yeah, I would maybe try to make this more of like a gray, because it's so dark we can't really see any of the detail that you put into the actual modeling of the table.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I would definitely bring, because I mean, how many shots is the table in?
Like close-ups or total?
I mean, total. Like 4 or 5? Yeah, so that wouldn't be too many to re-render. Yeah, bringing up the table. I mean, yeah, you're. There's not a lot of color in here besides the blue of the mixer. So I mean, you could even do something bolder with the table. Like I think if that were some sort of actual color, it'd be all right. But yeah, pasting feels good. I think you've got that worked out. The textures look good now. I mean, your metal looks like metal. Everything else looks pretty good. How did you feel after putting it together?
Yeah, it was mainly just the table sticks up.
And maybe just, I mean, where you have your light coming from your dome light, and then are there ceiling lights?
Yeah, it was because in my house there's recessed lights.
Okay.
But like my light's up there. And then yeah, there's a dome light and then the portal lights for the windows.
So how many recessed lights are there?
In the actual scene, I think only like maybe 4.
Okay.
And they're pretty close since there's so many other lights back there.
Okay. Yeah, because it feels like either making another one over on this side so that this side of the fridge gets lit up a little bit, because this feels like it's falling off into complete digital darkness.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, making, I mean, this part of the room over here also feels a little dark. So maybe turn up the light over here a bit, and then also make this, different color for the table so we can see the detail in the other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. All right, but you're pretty much there with this one. Are you bringing the robot into this scene?
I was just about to start doing that.
Okay. Let's start doing that. That looks good. Riley,
Yeah.
what do you got for us?
I'm rendering my scene for now, but that's one of my screenshots, one of my render scenes.
I mean, anything in motion yet?
Yeah, but I only have one lead.
Like one shot?
I have 3 shots, but they're not into After Effects yet.
Okay, we'll just do that now.
I'm doing one of After Effects.
Taryn, how's yours?
I have basically the room for the kitchen done, but I still have to make the table settings and chairs. And then I have to put it into After Effects.
Do you have your camera set up?
No, I don't really know how to do it.
Okay, so that was, let me get Belle back here. Let's make a note of that. Yeah, so Taryn, write down 1122. The 1122 stream is where we went over all the camera stuff. Noelle? Okay, I mean, what's your schedule like this week?
Actually pretty good, so I'll probably have something.
Well, Wednesday's the last class, right? So,
Yeah. I just need to do,
I need to make sure I don't actually come here on Monday after that, though.
no, you do come on Monday.
Oh.
Okay, let's do this one more time, right? Spider-Verse. Okay, everybody on the chat. I want a verbal indication that you understand. When is our last meeting?
Next Monday.
Which is 12/13/2021. At what time? 2
2.
p.m. Okay. And so, those of you who can't be here in person, can you guys be on the stream then?
I mean, do you want us to be in person? Well, yeah.
Yeah, sure. It's the last, day.
It'd be nice.
So, yeah, okay. Yeah, I can be there.
Okay.
I think.
Because on this day, everybody else, look, no work, right? We're just watching everybody's stuff and slapping each other on the back and saying, man, what a great time we had. Okay? Everybody get me here?
Okay.
All right. So, Emily, you understand?
Yes.
Jose?
Yep.
Danielle?
Yes.
Okay. Noelle? Belle? Kyler? Tyron? Okay. Riley?
Yeah?
Everybody gets exactly when we're doing this, right? It's a week from today. Okay. And then, as far as not coming here, a week from Wednesday, after this we're done, because this is the final presentation. The semester's over after this, for us. Everybody's with me there? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good. All right. Let me see. Where's the chat on the other one? Nikki, you also understand this? Who else is on the chat here? Let's see. There's 4 people plus Nikki. Anyone else chime in? Okay. And so the last chance to get feedback before the final is Wednesday, 2 days from now. Okay? Okay.
And just a quick question.
Yes.
So between today and Wednesday, you're gonna show us or talk about how to animate the robot for the scene.
Yeah, so the robot, we don't need a whole lot of animation here. So let's look at a couple examples, right? So everybody's robot. Marvin, I just went over what we have in the final, right? It's the movie we've been making for the past 3 weeks, and then one with our robot, and then uploading the other ones to Sketchfab, right? It's on Canvas there. Okay, so we have our robots doing our jobs, right? And so the jobs should be fairly simple, right? Jose is going to be spitting out some ice particles. Belle, what does yours do? It cooks stuff.
Things and cuts things.
What was the first thing?
Oh, heating.
Oh, okay.
Toaster oven on the inside of its chest. It's got a knife. It technically could serve stuff through its head. I have it separated.
Okay, again, let's keep it simple. Maybe like opening the chest, putting something in there, ding, taking it out.
Yeah.
Right? That would be good. Kyler, yours has like knives and.
Like can chop and cook toast.
Okay, so chopping, right? Marvin, have you been on the streams recently? We the last couple of weeks we've been going over the shots. I think we went over the stage. Taryn, what did I just tell you? It was which day did we do the stage stuff?
Oh.
The date I.
11/22.
11/22. We covered the stage stuff, Marvin, and then the last 3 weeks we've been doing editing the stage in the kitchen shots.
So are we gonna add on the robot part to the?
No, the separate movie, separate upload. Yeah. Okay, so let's just get some motion here in this robot. And so Emily did a good job. She's got her arms. Some of the rigging here was different, right? So you're able to move the end of your arm and
Yeah, mine did alarm.
yeah, that's working.
Last I checked, yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Okay. Maybe check again, just to be sure.
Okay.
And your arms are articulated.
Yeah, they're IK.
Okay. And so here, let's make an IK chain with these parts. So I'll select all 3 of these and say character, create IK chain. Let's see, does this give us a... Cool. And so let's just adjust things a little bit here. So we want to make sure that we bend correctly at the elbow. So I'm just going to adjust some of the stuff here a little bit. So I'll rotate this one forward. Rotate this one back. And then add the IK. Cool. All right, so now that after bending the arm a little bit in the right direction, the IK, when I move it, that at least bends where it's supposed to, right? Versus sort of being completely straight down, just giving this a little bit of forward bend in that direction. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think so. I'm just like watching the stream and it's like a little behind, so I'm just trying to like match what you're explaining to which part the stream is showing.
Yeah, just watch the call. You can, the stream is, yeah, like the stream is, yeah, because the stream will be behind. I mean, are you able to, oh, you can't see my screen on the call.
Yeah, you're not stream, or you're not.
Actually, I don't know if I can do that. Hold on. If I do, I'm not going to be able to do that. All right, never mind. I'll try to sound delayed. I don't know. So let's see here. And let's give the robot somewhere to look. And so the head is facing the right direction. I'll go ahead and add a target tag to the head. And call this head target, and tell the head to look at this. All right, so the head anchor point's upside down. We want the Y to be up. There we go. Now if the head is looking at this, head target, and that all looks okay. Alright, target tag does not like having this anchor point at the bottom for some reason. Let's just try centering the anchor point, see if that fixes it. If not, I guess we'll just go with rotation here. So if we look for axis center. Okay. And now if we put the target tag on. There we go. Alright, that's a little better. And let's give the other arm a little bit of the same. Marvin, I'm not sure what you're talking about. It's the project we've been working on for the past month. You're not rendering new shots. These are the shots of the kitchen. Cool. All right, so now I've got, I think, enough to work with here. We've got, this is the robot's right hand. This is the robot's left hand. And we've got our head target, sort of look at. Let's put a cutting board on here or something. So the way Emily has hers set up here, right? We've got our, when I made the chain, we went from here to here, sort of the end of her hand to the right upper arm, and that moves. And the same thing here. Let's put something on here to chop. And Emily, you said you have a knife?
Yeah, it's in the hider.
It's the hidden subfuse surface.
Oh, here.
Ye-
Cool. All right, so based on the look of the fingers, it might make my life a little bit easier. First of all, label this knife. Bring this down under here. Zero this out. There you go. And maybe who is the bad guy in Shang-Chi? He fights on the subway? Yes. That's who we've created here. Cool. And so now, there we go.
Chubby chubby.
So this is an instance where doing some motion capture might actually be pretty helpful here. So in cinema, that technology is cappuccino, right? They used to name parts of Cinema 4D after different types of coffee, hence espresso and cappuccino. Shift-C, I forget, there it is. If you click on cappuccino, it opens up this window. And this window is a recording window. And it so allows you to record the movements of your mouse. So, I've got my left hand here. And let's give myself a little bit more time. 24 times 9. There we go, 200 frames. And what do I want to record? Position, scale, and rotation. Yeah, we're just going to need position here. But I've got this one. And you click Start Real Time. And then once you let's make sure I've got the right. Here we go. There we go. If I hit play, So the upside is that's easy, right? In that I can sort of grab something, and if I set my table correctly, pun intended, I guess, this can work, right? So the fact I set up the IK chain for the arm makes it easy to just sort of have this arm controller and then chop, 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 chop. Let's look. The downside of motion capture, right, whether it's like using your mouse or a suit or anything, is that you have to massage the output quite a bit to usually get something that's usable, right? And in this case, it created keyframes on every frame, right? So let's look at that. Let me do it one more time so it's clear what happened here. And so here. What was the one for deleting the track? Do you remember?
Oh, if you want to delete it like all of them at once, you do that. Yeah, you right click, delete, or animation delete track. But if you want to do them one at a time, it's Control Shift and you click the record button, and that'll delete a track.
Oh, just on here. Okay. Right, so I bring it back here. I set up what is the thing I want to animate, okay? And in this case, I'm able to, again, it's the same rules as moving anything. I don't want to move in 3 dimensions, but I want to, be able to move it. There we go. And so if I grab it here, and so if you say start real time, then once you grab it and start moving, that's when it starts recording, right? And so now, chop, 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 chop. That wasn't as good.
So would this work in orthographic view?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what view you're in. Yeah, yeah. I mean, essentially, I'm only grabbing this handle, right? So I'm only using 2 dimensions at one time. But the robot's kind of slanted, so, or the arm is. Let's see what we can do about. Go back to animate now. View. Right, so this would work well for chopping. And let's look at the position keyframes. Right, and so this is what we get by default. And once we go in here, under functions, we do have a simplify. And that cleans things up quite a bit, and to give us, without this, right, the upside is that you can record your movement, good, you can't really edit it, bad, right? And so selecting all of the, I didn't really do anything with scale or rotation here. I didn't do anything at all. But here now, I have something that I can use, to move this thing, right? So for instance, it needs to move on the X some more, this way, right? And so here, I can sort of set those keyframes the old-fashioned way. So it's kind of moving across. There we go. So now, chop, and chop, 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 chop. My first recording was better. But I'm sort of combining both things here, right? I can come in here. I could do the same thing with the head, right? So now I've got my head target. I could move where I would want. And so, for instance, we'll have it look at what it's doing and then look up. And so again, I'll come back over here, Shift-C, cappuccino, just get C-A-P-P, that gets you there. Open up the window, figure out what I want to animate, head target, click on that, make sure I'm rewound to the beginning, click on Start Real Time, and down. Looking around really fast, and up at the end. Right, so short of building yourself a robot suit and putting it on, this is something you can do at home. And in your case, Emily, the way you set yours up, I didn't change the hierarchy at all. Like I didn't move the arms underneath the head or underneath the hierarchy. And my arm controllers are not inside there. And so if I move the body at all, you see that the controllers stay put. And so this would allow me to maybe give the body a little bit of motion while it's working here. And so I might do a little bit of that. Let's say it'll start back, lean forward, and come back. Right. And so again, I'll grab the kitchen robot here, make sure I'm rewound, say start real time, and looking down. There we go. And now it's working hard and then looking up. There we go. My mouse acting not so good today. But this is a really good way to sort of like rough this out quickly, right? Emily, is this making sense?
Yes.
Okay. And what everybody, what is this called when you record the real-time movement? Cappuccino, right? It should really just be called real-time motion capture. That would be less opaque to people who don't know about it. That's what After Effects does this too, and that's what it's called there. It's called like real-time capture or something like that. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. But this allows me to get a bunch of motion here, right? And so now I've got something that I've roughed out, right? And so this is pretty good. And let's go in here. And again, we could start back here. And let's see, where does it start chopping? Right here. Now, to get something, we'll call this, what is a square thing it could be chopping? Butter. To slice something, Shift-C, Voronoi, fracture object. And for this object to slice, it's these, I put the butter in there. Up here I go to sources, and I can use other geometry to cut. I'll call this cut. Kind of like so. And if this goes into your field, there we go, and I get rid of this one. This can help to start to cut stuff. Right, and so here, if I made a bunch of them,
Would a cloner work?
yeah, I mean, yeah, it would just depend on what you want to do. I mean, this
Okay.
will dice up anything. In our case, we're just making, yeah, like smaller pads of butter, so you could just clone them, right? Here, if we bring all these things down, in fact, we may be better off with a plane. Let's see.
Jose, if you're not done with your kitchen, finish your kitchen. Danielle,
Who's talking?
Nikki.
Somebody's got your.
Whoa, check this out, stream update. There's maybe a new stream.
That guy's obnoxious. Turn him off.
Look at this. At some point today, we had 7 people watching the stream for like. Look at this. If it continues at this rate, maybe by the end of the year, YouTube will be mailing me one of those plaques. You know? You get like a. You know what I mean? Like if your channel gets 1 billion people to subscribe to it, there's then like a gold play button or something.
Is it me?
And then you get 2 billion.
This is. I kind of always have YouTube running at this point. We're in some sort of, because this is getting streamed and recorded. You know, the recording now of us hearing the previous stream and recording. Getting into some like end game level time shenanigans. All right, I guess I'm gone. Okay, there we go. I think I turned myself off. And then as this animation is happening, I would just set up a few, like I said, 3, like maybe start off with this camera shot, then come over here to like a close-up of what's actually happening. Right about here. And then maybe go back to one from the opposite angle when the robot finishes up. Right, totally. Maybe right about there, right? So very simple. We don't need the robot. The robot can already be in the kitchen, okay? We don't need the robot to get into the kitchen, right? Just sort of be there. The purpose is sort of like show what we made with the robot in its natural environment, and then having it do something simple, right? Let me post a link to
Should the robot already be in like the kitchen scene?
Yeah, you don't need to have the robot like walk into the kitchen. We just don't have time.
Oh, I mean like in the other one with like the 12 shots.
Oh no. Like that they're 2 separate videos, right? One is just the kitchen, and this other video is just going to be the robot in the kitchen.
Okay.
Okay? You're not appending the robot onto the other video. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Right. So you're not doing that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Separate videos. Robot in one, no robot in the other.
Yes. And so.
Okay,
What-
what link do you want to share? I'm
I think the nighttime class where I did the Eve animation.
Oh, okay, share that one.
Can you post that link in Slack?
Yeah.
I did it better in the nighttime class, I think. As far as animating a floating bot, so Jose, you're still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so right, yours isn't going to chop. Yours just shoots ice, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's say this is your robot. There we go. And so yours is almost Emily's had legs, or almost everybody else's is kind of a floating bot, right? Yeah, so our bot can be here and sort of comes into the scene. And we'll sort of rotate over. What's that?
Oh, at channel to 185?
Yeah. And a float bot, one of the things that's going to give you a good hover is the vibrate tag. All right, so if you have a float bot, your bot does not have legs, putting the vibrate tag on the top level of the hierarchy. All right, so Shift-C, vibrate, right up here, and I'll give it a little bit of position and a little bit of rotation. Right, so here we see that it moves into the scene, and now it's just sort of moving, right? We don't want it to move quite as frantic, And so under position, let's turn off rotation for a second. Position, we want it to move up in all directions. So let's say 20, 20, 20. There we go. A little bit too frantic. So frequency, let's say 0.5. A little not quite enough. Let's say 1. There we go. Let's say 1.2. There we go. A little bit of a hover. And also rotation, right? And so let's say like 20, 20, 20. And frequency like maybe 0.9. Maybe a little too much rotation. Let's say 10, 10, 10. There we go. All right, so this gives us a little bit of movement just as the default, right? As we're filming things, the robot doesn't seem like, because if we're hovering, it would be like locked in space, right? And so just putting this on the top level gives me something to work with there. You with me so far, Jose?
Yep.
Okay. And let's have it shoot some ice. We talked a little bit about this before, didn't we? What do you use to shoot ice? Shoot anything?
Particles and stuff?
Yeah, particles.
I thought you were asking for like a real life thing.
Oh.
Don't shoot my ice at you.
Yeah, I do that when guests come over.
Bring out my ice shotgun and I'll fill the glass.
There you go.
The cool part to trick.
Here's some goggles. I'm going to give you some ice. Hold on. Okay, here's an ice cube. And you want simulate particle system. This makes particles. There we go. We need to attach this to the robot. And so I'm going to make it a child of the arm. And center it, Alt-0. Move it over here. Rotate it. Right, so putting this at the end of the arm. It's got to face the other direction. I'll tell the cylinder not to have any caps. There we go. There we go. It's shooting ice out of there. We don't want it to shoot ice. We want it to shoot ice cubes. So we take the ice cube that we made and make it a child of the emitter. And in the emitter, we have to say show objects. Okay, now we're shooting ice cubes at least. Getting closer. Yes.
I have a crazy question. Is it possible
Okay.
to make them fade over lifetime?
To like shrink? Like melt like ice?
Opacity.
Oh.
So like with my robot, I tried doing the whole ring system. So that way it would be a ring comes out, grows, and fades. But I'm having trouble with that part. I can make them grow, but
Oh.
without opacity is almost impossible. From what I can find. Yeah, it's possible in other programs, just not so pretty.
You tried animating the alpha channel on the material? And that does all of them at the same time? Let me think about it for a minute.
Alright.
Okay, so here we are shooting this. Let's make something to put the ice in. Here we go. And we'll call this box or bowl. Now hit I, T, I, D. There we go. Okay, so now if you want your robot to drop something, right, here's the basic physics stuff. So Jose's robots should, Jose, you're getting all this?
Yeah, I'm a little behind because of the stream, but yeah.
Okay. Okay, and we don't want to start shooting ice until it gets here. And so under the emitter, I'll say start emission at frame 50. Right, and so now it will rotate over, then shoot ice. Sounds good. Now we need to make the ice cubes fall. And I'll go Shift C, rigid. Rigid body tag on the ice cube, right here. And so now they fall into the bucket. If we want more ice cubes, right, and who doesn't? The ice cube doesn't work on my refrigerator at home, and it's a point of contention.
I just have an ice maker.
I mean, this coming summer, I may resort to that. There's no reason not to. In the winter, it's not a problem, but in the summer, let's be real. Okay, so there we go. I've got my ice cube now falling because it has this rigid body tag on it. But we want it to fall into this bowl, right? And so I need to do something to the box bowl here. I'll make it see-through. You've already got this covered with your materials. There we go. And so I'll also put the rigid body tag, Shift-C, rigid body on the bowl box, and watch what happens. Falls into space. Okay, so how do I keep it from falling? We say dynamics off. Now watch what happens. We come over here and we shoot ice cubes, and they accumulate on top of the box. We need to make one change here, so let's give ourselves some more frames to work with here as well. Not that many. That's many. So I did one thing. To keep the box from falling, I turn this from on to off, right? That means it's like a stationary object that's in the physics system. However, by default, physics tries to be as lazy as possible, and so it doesn't do objects with holes. If your object has holes, it just fills them in to try and be as efficient as possible. So over here, under shape, static mesh should give us holes. Let's try it.
Hey, awesome.
And we want it to keep making ice. And so under my emitter, now that I have 300 frames, let's say make it up to 300. And also let's have it making an obnoxious amount of ice. And so let's say it makes 60. I don't know what that number is. I think it's per frame. I don't know.
Just starts slowing down.
Yeah, I mean the playback will slow down, but you'll render it out and it'll play back.
Playback perfect.
Now, when you use the physics system and the particle system, they are not scrubbable unless you cache them somehow. We don't need to go over that right now. So you got to rewind and sort of play from the beginning in order to get an idea of what's happening. If you wanted to just shoot ice cubes and donuts, don't ask why. I'm just saying, of course, that's something you would want.
You wouldn't.
You don't want a cold donut.
I love a cold donut.
I'm going to put the tag on the donut as well, and made it both a child of the emitter.
It's a donut ice.
Oh, the emitter's just a little too small.
Little mini donuts.
Right size.
All right, but really leveraging procedural animation here, right? I don't think I've keyframed any. No, I don't think I Did I set? I don't think I set any keyframes there, right? All my motion I'm getting from the vibrate tag, which I dialed in to give me that sort of hover, right? And then the rest of it's just coming from the physics system. Right?
How does the robot fly in?
Oh yeah, okay, you got me there. I did set those 2 keyframes. Yes, or 3. Yeah. Now, if we didn't want the if we wanted to make the shoot a little bit more accurate, I'd come in here to the cylinder and give it an inside and outside first of all. C and D. Say create caps. There we go. And then I would put a rigid body tag on this as well. Probably the same one I used on the box bowl. And so now they should not go through the chute. Yeah, don't copy physics tags. That always seems to not work for some reason. Let's just look at this. Yeah, all those normals are in the right direction. And so I'll come in here, Shift C, rigid body, and dynamics to off, shape, static mesh. So Jose, does that make sense for yours? So we got chopping movement with arms. We've got shooting ice cubes with the emitter. Belle, yours is going to open and put something inside and cook it. Nikki, what's your bot going to do? Kyler, yours is chopping? Riley, what's your bot doing?
Can I destroy my kitchen?
I mean, I just don't think we have time for that. What would be something else?
I mean, I could just break a window then, and then I might just have it cook some food with
Yeah,
fire.
yeah, cook something. Turn on something. How about yours, Taryn?
It's gonna cook toast and maybe like mix something in a bowl.
Okay. And what does yours do, Noelle?
It's gonna like clean like dishes and do mixing because I have whisk. It's
So if your robot wiped something down, Kyler, can you send me your bot?
Yeah, how you want it?
What's that?
How you want it set?
C4D, just on email.
Is there a class on Tuesday?
I'm not sure. You want to run over to the art department office and ask? Sherry would know. I mean, it's like the first door on the left there. I'm not sure. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, if mine doesn't float, do I still need to put like the shaking that you put in the ones that float?
I thought yours was a floating bot.
No, it's like
So it like rolls around?
yeah, like it doesn't have wheels, but it like goes around without floating, like in the floor.
It kind of reminded me of the robot from the Jetsons.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
I should probably mention it too. Mine actually floats. It's more like an Astro Boy robot.
okay. Well, I mean, that we could simply update yours. This part here, the main part that I keyframed here to sort of move around, if you put a vibrate tag there, he'd be floating like so. Does that make sense?
No, because stream is still lagging.
Because what?
Stream is still lagging.
Oh, okay. So I'm putting a vibrate tag on the very top of the
Okay.
robot hierarchy. Let's see, Shift C, vibrate. Let's get weird. So in that case, Jose, you could try either one. You could put the vibrate tag on the robot to sort of give it a little bit of motion, or you could use the cappuccino to sort of move it by hand. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was thinking that, I mean, you said that it doesn't have to like come in, but I was thinking that you can come in, fill the bowl or whatever with ice, and then maybe go out or do something after.
Yeah. Again, keep it simple, but yeah, that would work.
Okay.
Nikki, we're checking about the lab tomorrow. I don't know if we're going to be able to be open tomorrow or not. Martin asked about pouring water instead of cubes. The best we can do, really, in that instance Okay, so if your robot were to dispense liquid instead of ice cubes, if we made a tiny sphere, oh, you know what? Actually, there'd be a couple approaches to this, but yeah, the particles are not going to work so well in that instance. And so if you had it sort of pouring water instead, I might just animate a spline. So if you had a spline here and a sweep, you could have the water sort of pour out of the arm just by animating the and growth. Yeah, Marvin, don't waste any time with the particles and the gravity and everything. You guys got to focus on the main stuff at this point, which is just, I mean, getting the 10 shots. Mark, do you have any shots to show us on Slack, Marvin? So are the arms working for you, Kyler?
No, it's not a problem.
What is, do you know what the problem is?
The robot, isn't correctly scaled. Realistically, we weren't doing that before. So I bring it in, I try and scale it down to be fitting within a kitchen. I believe from what I can tell, it's the nulls that are inside the body that lock those ends of the arms don't scale. So they stay in put place. So when you try and scale everything, the arms all of a sudden glitch out.
But do the arms work?
Normally, yes. They work at a
Are these the controllers here?
regular scale.
No.
No, the hands.
These are supposed to be the controllers up here?
The hand nulls are supposed to be attached to the hands.
Here?
Yeah. Right. So, in those noodles, the hand nulls should go to the corresponding hand. Like they should be child's, but I think I was only saying null file.
Okay.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So the simplest answer for this one is scale the kitchen.
Doesn't that affect all the cameras?
Well, you don't. You'll
Yeah,
make
not-
new
yeah,
cameras,
that's right.
so yes, that'd be the by far the simplest answer. So if you just scale the kitchen up so that the robot fits, then you're good. Right, and in your case, right, kitchen bot here, Shift C, vibrate, and yeah, it looks like I have a version here where the hierarchy's a bit messed up. But yeah, you could have your arm staying in place while the robot's moving here to keep all of that kind of in place. All right, here's what Marvin's got. That's good, Marvin. I think you're a couple shots short here from 10, so maybe an additional 4 shots or whatever. I think everything, the scale of the different parts looks good. You've got this kind of like a wallpaper slash backsplash. The only thing that stuck out to me here modeling wise is the table. I would take the table back into Substance, and your UVs on your table are somehow a little disturbed. I would bring this back into Substance and switch this to triplanar to try and get more even wood grain distribution on your table. But you got it nice and reflective. Everybody see that? This table. In fact, it's so reflective, I'm like, is this cup floating or?
You could skate on it.
Yeah, so also Marvin, check your objects that they're actually sitting on the table. This, I feel like this spoon is definitely floating. So just look at it in orthographic view and make sure that stuff is actually sitting on the table. So you just need to add 3 or 4 shots to this. But this pacing of the shots feels pretty good. Mixer looks good. I feel like there's some detail here that we don't see. Like definitely a shot of this over here. And you did a good job on this kitchen stool. This is a cool design. I would definitely show that off. Cool. Is that making sense, Marvin? Marvin, it's 2 videos, right? You need 4 more shots for this one that's just the kitchen. And then you make a separate video of the robot in the kitchen. That one only needs to be 3 shots. And then the other objects need to be posted on Sketchfab. Nikki, are you still there? You have any questions about animating your robot? Kyler, did that work scaling the kitchen?
So just before we finish, so how many keyframes should we have, like for the first one and then for the robot?
You mean total frames?
Yeah.
Yeah, the kitchen videos, I mean, you're doing yours shot by shot, so yours seemed good, right? You want the video, I mean, how long is yours, Belle? Yours is what, a minute and 15 seconds, something like that?
It's a minute and 4 seconds.
Minute 4 seconds? Yeah, like a minute, right around a minute. for the first
Okay.
one. The second one is going to be short, just like 15 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
And should we have like a draft for the next class for the robot?
Yeah, it'd be great.
So we can have corrections because on Monday we don't have class. Oh, we have, but not.
Right, we have class on Monday. Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we do that again? No, right? Because we all know we have class on Monday, right? Okay.
Yeah, no, I meant like for class.
Alright, cool, my video's updated.
Okay, so you're doing.
I actually got a code now. I'll be looking back on the videos to do the IK change and the tags on my robot later. Thank you. You have a good day.
You too. Okay. So you kind of like this, right?
Something like that. Something like that. Yep. I think I'm just gonna have to probably just scrap the idea. I think. I feel like it's something I could eventually, like, if I wanted to, just fiddle with in After Effects. Some people have said, like, applying, you know, the material and doing the animation on the material works, but that didn't. And then some said try using the visibility, animate the visibility in the display tag, but that also didn't work.
So this, doing this, and then Did you try the display tag thing?
Yeah, I did.
So what happened there? They all just go away?
Same thing with the material opacity. It would just fade off all at the same time.
I had to, instead of copying the robot into the kitchen, I had to copy the kitchen to the robot.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Is this like a chicken and egg joke?
I don't know why that was the solution, but anytime you copied the robot over to the kitchen, the nodes got all like warped and messed up.
I can fill in with that some more later. Do you guys get some feedback real quick on the updated video?
Did you put it in Slack?
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that comes to mind in
I can just do a little more research.
I mean, something I'm sure would work is rendering out the particles separately
Yeah, exactly.
and then just fading them out in After Effects.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'll just probably put a little bit more in After Effects.
Yeah, because the particle, everyone ends up using different particles in cinema anyway. And so what resolution did this render at?
This is the low res still. I wanted to get full approval before fully rendering at it. What happened? It's so weird. It might be with media anxiety. Some of the shots still look dark, so I just added an adjustment layer in After Effects.
Yeah, I feel like there's enough info there.
Yeah, it was the last three plus this one. I have to look at what's happening with that glitch in there.
Yeah, looks really good.
Cool. I want to do that full HD one.
Yeah, I don't know, it's tough to say what the glitch. I mean, it's not doing it in.
Because I didn't do it in After Effects.
Oh, it didn't do it in After Effects? Okay.
It's probably just in the info right there.
And how long did that take to render?
So here, rendering out 500 frames took about 4 hours. But at home, it's maybe like 10 seconds a frame. The other thing is that it's still doing that whole word
Quitting?
stop at random.
Yeah, I don't have, you and Nikki are the only people that,
It did happen to me last time too.
Really?
like it just stopped.
Yeah, like I set it to go to a certain amount of frames, and then came back to a couple hours later, and it stopped at like
Yeah, and it
a couple
looked like
hundred
it
frames
was done,
before.
right?
Yeah, and it said it was completely done. And I went, I was like, this is the thing they're talking about
Yeah.
last week. Yeah.
I don't know what might be causing it.
And you haven't noticed it on any of the school computers.
See,
See.
Yeah, it doesn't happen here. Well, I guess because I'm not rendering that many frames. So I don't know if it's ever gotten that far to where it'll do that.
It's happening to so many of you guys that I haven't, I mean, have you seen anything else about this on the online?
I tried finding stuff about it, but none of them talked about Redshift. Some of them were saying it happened with just like the regular C4D renderer, which I don't know.
I mean, that doesn't happen to you with the regular C4D renderer
I
on
mean,
your
I
computer?
haven't tried it, so I wouldn't be 100% sure to be able to say yes or no.
Do you have 25 on your machine?
What do you mean?
The R25?
No. Well, I do. I have it downloaded. I just haven't used it. I could attempt using that instead. See what happens.
See if that fixes it. Because I know, like, the way Redshift is integrated into the program is, like, totally rewritten in 25. So it's worth a shot.
Maybe.
Because you should be able to open up the file.
Yeah.
Everything else should be good.
Do you think I can get
feedback on that for fun GIF that I put in Slack. I messed around with C4D yesterday after
Oh, the little heart thing? Yeah, it looks
yeah,
good.
that I made for Monet, because she had a 3D heart, so I just real quick did a tutorial video and sent it to her, and I was like, oh, I could play with this. I
Where
felt
is this?
like the, what is it, the curves for the bounce in the middle there looks like it might be a little too sharp. Maybe I should just make it smoother, but I'm not sure. Because I made it like a bounce curve, and so maybe it could just be like a smooth curve.
You mean like this is a bounce here? This
Yeah,
this part?
at the top where it does that, yeah,
Yeah.
it bounces. So I feel like it makes it look a little too snappy, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, the I didn't even see this before. So like that's like a squash and stretch, like the thing.
Yeah.
Did you use the
Squash and stretch modifier?
yeah or the I mean, is that what you did? Or the
Yeah, I just used the regular deformer. I didn't have access to, I couldn't find the video that you're talking about for Maxon, where they did for the conference. So I was like, oh, I ended up finding a video on the regular deformer, and I kind of liked the way it looked. So I was like, I'll just play with that, see what happens. I thought it came out okay, but
Yeah, it just
I messed with the curves a little, I think.
yeah, the whole thing feels a little slow.
Yeah, I could probably speed it up too.
Yeah, it's like 2/3 as much, 2/3 of the time would feel right. And then yeah, like that much of the smushing, it just seems weird. Like it was like, what is this? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, it was,
I don't think it needs to like
It was supposed to
smush.
be like a floor snaps into existence kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Well, in that
But,
case,
yeah.
then yeah.
Oh.
There's the did I give you the other squash and stretch
No.
thing that we built in 124?
I don't have access to it. The
Any
class
point?
stuff, sometimes I'll like ask for students when we come to tutoring, like, hey, do you think you could send me the scripts? Or like,
I don't know where the because you saw the thing we did on that rig.
yeah, for the squash and stretch ball. None of your 184 students come, so I can't ask them for anything.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it'd be nice. Because I usually have enough time. Now I'm finally caught up with time stamping again, so. I mean, they got a week left. They can come to me.
yeah. I mean, everyone's gonna ask questions on Sunday, you know.
Well, I tutor on Friday, so maybe they'll come on Friday. It's a long day. That's cool though. Maybe I'll find the video later, or if you have.
No, I got the zip file here. I posted in the 185 Slack.
Cool. Okay. I'll download that.
Yeah, because it's a whole C4D file. But you know, then it's just like
You
it
can
just
play around with it.
yeah. I think it's just a little like I ripped it off this one of their
Conference videos, yeah.
yeah, and it's like a really good rig. It just needs to be a little bit simpler, but you just have these two bones to move, and then it proportionally smushes everything. It's really nice.
Yeah, it looked cool. Like, oh, that looks fun. But yeah, I'll probably fiddle around with that later then. Alright, thank you. Have a beautiful day.
Okay.
Well, I'm just gonna leave. I didn't want to interrupt, so I'm just gonna thank you for your help.
Okay. Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions. Jose. Talk to you later. Bye.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing? Caitlin, if you turn in the color scope project, you'll be good. Who's got more scenes?
I turned in my 3 and 4.
Oh, okay, great.
I'm